All right, KMR Rotary, we're going to talk some BRAP, and I know this is a little random, but we're basically cleaning up the FD3S show car for 7 stock, the upcoming RX7 show. It's a little ways off, but we're getting things ready, and I've had a few people ask recently about the twin turbo setup. So I figured I would talk just a little bit about the twin turbo setup and what we were doing when we built this whole car back in 2018, because I know it's been a while since we talked about it, and we're going to get it up and running. We're going to take it to the show. That should be fun, and this is just an opportunity to talk some BRAP. So it is a 13B half bridge. We ran the CX Racing lower intake manifold. And then with our turbo setup, we tried to keep it simple. There were definitely different ways we could do this, but the turbos are fed in the exhaust manifold, just basically one rotor per turbo, one rotor per turbo. And because we did want a specific look, they are actually different length runners on the manifold. It's never been an issue. We've never done any hardcore tuning with it, but so far, basic drivability, basic tuning's been fine. No big issues. And then we did hardline all the wastegates. So in an effort to make things look a little better and also last a little longer, which it did both of those, we did do some hard lines for all of our boost pressure lines. But I probably wouldn't do it again. They do fatigue in the long run with the harmonic vibrations. And it was very difficult to do, so I think now what we generally do is softer AN lines. Still looks great, if not better, and lasts a lot longer, as long as they're not ran right on top of the turbo. But it was just really a basic setup. Super simple to run twins on a 13B. You've seen drag racers do it, or at least I have, where they've done 3 rotors or 4 rotors, with each rotor feeding a turbo. We went a little bit aggressive. These are both T3 flange turbos. I don't remember the exact spec, but I could probably look it up. And again, you know, it was fine. It definitely is peaky. Obviously, with it being a half bridge, any bridge port, and then obviously with decent sized turbos, there's a little bit of lag. But when it spools hard, feels good. And then same thing with the collector right here. We had some options. In hindsight, I think it would have been cool to probably bring both turbos independently into a merger closer to the intercooler. I often worry that there might be a little bit of pressure equalization, back pressure issue with the turbos, but it's never been an issue. It just kind of mentally, I always look at that, and I wish I had done a longer merger. But at the time, we were building it for show. And again, we were just playing around with different ideas and concepts of what we could do with a twin turbo 13B. And again, it worked great, and that's just some thoughts on how I would do it differently if I were to do it again, and why we did things in this particular way, but it worked out great. Same thing with the water pump, very simple. I probably would go with a bigger radiator nowadays. That was just more of an aftermarket FD3S radiator. It works fine, but with this much power and potential, as soon as you start to drive the car hard, we do get a pretty decent amount of temperature into the radiator rather quickly. It just can't keep up. So if I were to build this setup again, I would definitely go with a larger radiator to, to be able to cool the type of horsepower and heat generated with this type of build. But still, it was very fun. We learned a lot from the project, and we're looking forward to getting this car out to the upcoming car show. So I think that's a BRAP. It was just a quick little rundown. If anybody wants to know more about it, just comment below and we can talk more about this within the channel. Fun build, and it was primarily show. And it's one of the reasons I'm also building a new FD3S. I don't want to take this car apart to build an FD3S race car. I enjoy this car too much, and I do want an FD3S for drift competition, so it looks like we're just going to have to build another FD3S. All right, I think that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. KMR.